I'm a whore for Eli Roth. I love everything he's done, from Hostel to Cabin Fever to Knock Knock. Welcome to Rotten Damians, the channel where we review horror movies and discuss potential film theories. Today we are discussing The Green Inferno, directed by none other than Eli Roth. The movie was inspired by Cannibal Holocaust, released in 1980. Cannibal Holocaust was quite a controversial film. They committed real animal cruelty when they killed a plus-minus 100-year-old turtle, snakes, and even a monkey. The crew also had to appear in court to prove that the murder scenes were fake. Due to these reasons, the film was banned in many countries. Thankfully, there is no real animal cruelty in The Green Inferno, and we can clearly tell that the scenes are fake. The movie is about a group of college activists who decide to fly to the Amazon to protect it and its various inhabitants. On their way home, the plane crashes and they are hunted and eaten by a tribe of cannibals. Due to YouTube guidelines, I will not be able to show you the extensive gore. However, you can always watch the movie or find the gory scenes on YouTube. The movie begins where some Westerners are demolishing a part of the Amazon. No, not that Amazon. That Amazon. We then switch to our protagonist Justine, who is awoken by some activists protesting the Amazon deforestation that we saw in the intro. Justine and her roommate go get the French breakfast, being some coffee and pastries. Casey, the roommate, gives some wisdom beyond her years.
The only thing those posers care about is looking like they care.
The movie will later aim this insult at a certain group leader.
Female circumcision.
I hope the suddenness of this scene surprised you as much as it surprised me. There's a ton of foreshadowing that goes on in this movie, this scene being one of them. Justine is shocked by the matter and wants to get involved and do something, so she plays the nepotism card.
My father's a lawyer at the UN.
Her classmate, Jonah, is impressed by her sentiment and decides to text someone about it. Okay, so basically the class scene is to show that Justine cares for humanity and that her character aligns with the activists. Jonah, the mysterious texter, approaches Justine, and we see he was texting Alejandro, who asked him to give her a flyer. Justine is smitten with Jonah's invitation and agrees to go to their meeting. But she can't fool me. She just wants to go to the meeting for the free food.
Food's really good.
Before the meeting, she grabs lunch with her father. This scene is there to show how strong the bond is between Justine and her father, and to hint at her grandmother's necklace that Justine isn't wearing, another foreshadowing. At the meeting, Alejandro very intensely pitches the plan to go to the Amazon and protect it from the Westerners. Justine asks,
So what's the plan? March into the jungle and starve yourself?
which Alejandro does not enjoy. He kicks her out for questioning his leadership and integrity because
Alejandro takes his social work very seriously.
can you imagine if she just never went back? She would be safe and the movie would end. But nope, she approaches Alejandro and apologizes. After a conversation where Alejandro again proves his integrity and leadership, he accepts her back into the group and she agrees to go to the Amazon. Basically, Alejandro is painted as a very serious and honest activist. At their next meeting, Alejandro explains the plan. They will blow up the bulldozers, wear masks, and chain themselves to the trees that the Westerners are bulldozing. They will then connect their phones to the satellite and continuously stream. The streaming should protect them from the guns
They have guns?
and create some media attention, forcing the Westerners to stop. The plan works, except for the fact that Justine can't lock herself into the tree, and the Westerners see that she is not locked into the tree, so they grab her. Alejandro shouts,
It's about to shoot a girl whose father works at the United Nations!
Not wanting to attract attention from the UN, they are forced to stop their operation. So basically, it was Alejandro's plan to give her the faulty lock and exploit her nepotism. He's not looking like such a good guy now. On their way home, the group are celebrating, but their celebration is cut short when one of the engines explode. The plane comes crashing down and a lucky few are killed on impact. The group exit the plane looking for a means of communication when they are all sleep-darted except for Alejandro's girlfriend, who is shot through the throat and in the head. They wake up on the Amazon River and Justine tries to free herself, to which the head hunter says,
Papaya!
Wait, did he just say papaya, as in the fruit? They're transported from the boats and the whole village comes to see the catch of the day. They touch them in awe and the group sees some corpses on their way to their cell. I love the scene. It makes me feel so uncomfortable and anxious. I think the cast did a really good job capturing this emotion on their faces. The group are put into their cell, but Jonah is separated and given a weird liquid to drink. It seems to calm him, so they lie him down and free his bondages. The men hold him down while the leader approaches him. She stabs him in the eye and eats it. She must think it's tasty because she goes for the second eye too. To finish the appetizer, she cuts out his tongue and munches on that too. The headhunter then removes his limbs while Jonah lies there bleeding out. Lastly, the leader decapitates him and holds his head high as a trophy. If you enjoy gore, I recommend you watch the nasty bits because, wow, Eli Roth and the team did a good job on this one. After the murder, the women of the tribe prepared Jonah like his pork. I mean, they got the salt, pepper and paprika going. Ironically, the directors give us a scene of cows relaxing to parallel the fact that the tribe killed a human instead of the cows. I never realized how graphic this movie is. The tribe skinned Jonah and the villagers watch, swallowing hard as if they were waiting for a delicacy. I just wanted to point out this minor detail. Once night arrives, the group are swapping some wonderful camp stories about their day. Alejandro tells us a very interesting story. He tells us that he was hired by a competitor company to stop the deforestation because the rival company wanted the land. But the good news is that the competitor company will be on their way to resume the deforestation, so they should be rescued. To make Alejandro's case worse, listen to this fatphobic statement that he makes.
Be thankful that they killed Jonah first. He can feed them for a week.
The next morning, we see a child villager playing with Justine's necklace from her grandmother. She begins playing the necklace for him. It's actually a flute. The village kids play a joke that would leave me in my pants, just like Amy. They hold a live snake to her face. The headhunter enters the shack, grabs Justine and Samantha. They are stripped and the leader uses her torture device to see if the girls are virgins. Sam isn't a virgin, so she is sent back. Before she enters the cell, she tries to make a run for it. She makes a beeline for the Amazon River where the canoes are lying, and surprisingly, she makes it. Or does she? Justine is a virgin, so she is taken to a hut and dolled up. Daniel and Alejandro discuss what is going to happen to Justine.
Female circumcision.
They try and make a plan to escape before the ritual is completed. But first, the gang are given snacks. You can't brainstorm on an empty stomach. Such nice hosts. Amy sees a tattoo Samantha had on her arm inside of her bowl, meaning the group just ate Sam. Maybe her transfer of energy will leave them with a better chance of escape than she had. To drive the point home, the kids start sticking her tattoos on their bodies. God, Eli Roth is twisted. I love it. Amy decides she can't handle it, so she breaks her bowl and slits her throat. Probably a more merciful death than what's in store for the rest. The plan the group come up with is to stick marijuana down her throat, so when the tribe cook her, they'll get high. A human edible, if you will. While they're stuffing the weed, Alejandro is fapping because
The only way to think clearly is to find a release.
this scene makes me laugh. Daniel decides to help Alejandro by choking him out. Just kidding. He's actually upset because his friends are dying and their leader is rubbing one out. Alejandro continues to stroke while making eye contact with Daniel. The smoke from Amy, the human edible, gets the village super high. I mean, look at the headhunter. The tribe eventually pass out and the group begin escaping, but Alejandro darts Lars because
But I can't let them just eat me if I'm alone.
Justine and Daniel decide to make a run for it, thinking the best way to save their friend is by getting help. Unfortunately for Lars, his plan backfires and the tribe have munchies. He tries to distract them with his finger tricks and weird laughter. But they just look at his finger like it's a snack carrot. He tries to make a run for it, but they mob up on him like a horde of zombies and begin eating him raw. I see salmonella in the tribe's future. Justine and Daniel make it back to the plane, but while crossing over, Justine goes straight down and the river begins pulling her away. This part always kills me. Imagine surviving a tribe of cannibals, looking happy, and jumping into a river and it almost kills her. It just seems so unlikely. Anyway, Daniel pulls her out and they make their way to the plane wreckage. They hear a phone beep and begin raiding the bodies to find it. But once they get the phone, Cara's body falls on Justine. This girl is a magnet for trouble. Daniel helps her up, but the tribe already found them and dart them. Justine wakes up tied to a makeshift bed while being lathered up and made pretty for her circumcision. She's in a better position than Daniel, who is tied to a pole and being beaten by the headhunter. We literally hear his bones crunch. It's awesomely gruesome. Daniel is slathered in mud that attracts red ants which begin biting him. The kid, fascinated by Justine and her flute, comes to see her and steal her flute. The chief approaches Justine with her torture weapon. Justine kinda looks like a Ninja Turtle. This scene really elevated my heart rate. Justine is screaming, the chief is inching closer, and she's scraping along her thighs. You want her to be freed. It seems hopeless. The tribe begins screaming because the hunters have killed one of the rival company's employees. The chief instructs the tribe to embark on an all-out war with the Westerners. Thankfully, this distracts the tribe, allowing the flute thief to free Justine. She finds Daniel still alive, but asking to be killed. Justine's savior knows her too well because while she is trying to free Daniel, he blows sleepy dust into his face and kills him. Alejandro asks for help, but Justine leaves him. I'd probably do the same. The kid points her in the right direction and gives the flute back, but Justine gives it to him. I hope she thanks Daddy for the reminder to wear it. Okay, I have a problem with this. I kinda find it hard to believe that a kid of his age would go against his whole tribe to free her. He probably doesn't even know that what the tribe are doing is wrong because it's what they've always done. So why would he suddenly free her? During the war, Justine looks like a tribal lady, so a Westerner aims his gun at her. She shouts out in English and explains who she is. Taking us in a full circle, Justine plays the same card and pretends to be filming and streaming to show what monsters the rival company are. They place her on a chopper back home and she tells the pilot that there are no other survivors, leaving Alejandro for dead. She tells the interviewers that everyone died in the crash and that the tribe took care of her. She made a very mature decision to not tell them about the cannibalism. During the war, the tribe were losing their land and being murdered, so the tribe thought Justine and her friends were enemies, and that's why they attacked and ate them. I personally would have had them nuke the place. Eli again takes us on a full circle, where Justine wakes up in her dorm room from a nightmare to protesters who are ironically wearing Alejandro's shirts. The post-credits scene shows a phone call between Alejandro's sister and Justine. They found a satellite image of him fully painted in black, meaning he's the new head hunter. The old head hunter died during the war. I think the movie was setting up a sequel. Okay, my review. I would give the movie 7 Rotten Damians out of 10. I wasn't too much of a fan of the foreshadowing, and the ending seemed a little bit rushed. I did love the irony at the end with the Alejandro shirts, and the gore was incredibly well done. Let me know what you thought about the movie in the comments down below. Thank you for watching.